Hello, Justin with Lucky 8 Off-Road, and today we're going to try a set of aftermarket deep smoke tail lights in Project 130. Project 130 is a first edition. We needed to get our hands on one right away, and it only came in limited forms. Thank God it was in a Carpathian gray, but I couldn't get the other tail lights that come with the supercharged, right? Or the Dynamic X. So these are a smoke version of the standard lights, which I think are gonna look really good on this truck. So let's install these, and in the process, I'll show you how to do it. Afterwards, we can review them and decide if they're any good or if they're the next great thing to have on your Rover. Cue the intro. First thing I like to do is pop this upper panel off. You wanna get everybody's got a plastic trim tool by now, right? We're gonna get behind that. Actually, I'm gonna open the door and do it. Or you can get back in here, but I find it easier if you get in here, pop a couple clips, get it almost open like a clamshell, and then pull it forward. Same thing with this plastic trim right here. I start on this side with my little, you can hear it starting to release. And there's a bunch of little clips in there, so we're gonna pop those forward. Let me be quiet. I'm trying to do something here. Does everybody else's Apple Watch do that? So what we're gonna do is pop that forward. That'll expose the bolts. If there's anything interesting along the way, I'll bring the camera in, but for now, I say hit hyperspeed. I got a little ahead of myself. We're gonna wanna pull this rubber trim back and out of the way. That way we can get our tool right in here to boom, you can hear it come free. And that way we pop it free. Need to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we can do hyperspeed. With those out of the way, I just want to take a quick overview of them for you to make it easier. See, that sits like so. It's just little Christmas trees that snap into place. There are some alignment dowels, but just get back in there, and this is the one I popped free on the inside first to get that loose. Same thing down here. You have a little bit of wiggle room. You pull it forward, and if you saw in the video, I just kind of went like that on the side, freed it up. If you really rip it off, you'll end up breaking some tabs. Don't want to do that. All right, same thing with the bottom piece here. Switch. These have like these push style little plastic clips. They get in there. This one makes a ruckus coming off. I start at the top, pop that free. You can push it from the side to get it going or from the top. Same thing, work its way down, get them free. And then this one always gives me trouble at the bottom because it's got an alignment plastic piece. So you almost don't want to rip it that way. You want to kind of pull it forward. Now that the light is exposed, we can move to the next step. For the driver's side, there's a couple of things I want to point out on the tail light. One, we've got this little adjustable bumper that screws in. Don't rip it, just take the time, unscrew it. The other thing we're going to want to talk about is this trim piece. To get to the light, you're going to have to pull that back. Clearly it's way easier since I've already done it, but it's the same style of these little sandwichy plastic clips. You're going to want to get that out of the way, then we can access all the bolts on it. The passenger side of the vehicle's got a lot more going on in order to access these lights. There's one bolt over here that we need to get to get the whole light out of the way. So we're gonna remove the rubber trim, get it out of the way. We're gonna start up here. We're gonna get this little plastic popper out. I'm gonna use my good popper tool, and then we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna work this trim back. So I'll jump this into hyperspeed, but I'll bring the camera in so you get a better idea of what we're doing to get it apart. We are so close. Next up, there's 3 bolts. They're 10 millimeter, 1, 2, and then right about here is number 3. We're gonna get all those bolts out, and then we're gonna gently wiggle the light free and unplug it. I'm gonna do both sides and I'll report back. We're on easy street now. All we have to do, put the lights back in, 1, 2, 3 bolts. Be careful when you align them. There's little clips that snap into place. We're gonna get the lights back in. We're gonna do the inner trim pieces first. Then we're gonna do the little side piece, and then the top beauty panel. Pretty much done job. I don't think there's anything to do close-ups on, so I'm gonna hyper speed this in, and we'll take a look at the finished product. You have it. Not a bad install, especially if you have a plastic trim tool. Just be gentle on the clips. They will come off, but if you caveman, you're gonna break them. Same with the upper. Obviously the lights bolt in, you wanna gently wiggle them out, but enough of me running my mouth. Let's shut the lights off and see how this looks.